Looks good. Okay. Call the meeting to order, guys. Can we call the roll, please?
Schmidt. All.
Here.
Bill. Curtis. Hanson.
Yeah. Any public comments? There's a lot of public here. Randy, you're up.
Let's see, we had one of the front cars at a deer on the 13th, two deer. Yeah, 2 deer, total, right? Yeah, so, in all fairness, it's been a while since we've had one of those. We used to have a lot of trouble with that, but deer are thinned out enough now.
Well, man, he's playing two.
Yeah, two is a lot. So, yeah, that kept trouble. I'm working right now on the renewal for public health. I'll be talking about you this week, but I got a couple of questions. But I don't expect a big change in rates there or anything. That shouldn't be a big deal. Other than that, that's about it right now.
Susie Warner.
We are already working with Healthline on the renewal coming up for December. I've reached out to them. They said it's running good, so I asked them to send me a utilization experience report. So hopefully I'll have that by the next meeting. And then APC right now is running at about 6.29%, which is good. The norm or average is about 18 to 23%. So you're right below that right now. We are also working with Healthline and getting that early renewal numbers again for 12/1, so you'll be set with that for the budget coming up in July.
Okay. Anybody got any questions? Thank you.
Have a great day. Thank you.
You moved. Okay. You got anything?
Not really been busy collecting taxes, so that's why there's no financial.
Yeah.
You have the current state payment. I would expect an impact tax payment within the next 2 or 3 business days. That's all I have.
What's on the grants? I see the grants are what they're behind you.
We've got some tax,
Grants and aid.
yeah. But they got pretty well caught up.
This is really good for them.
Yeah, it is.
And probation, they usually pay like between March and then May, and then we don't get anything until the following March.
So we've got several checks in the mailing here
Right,
recently.
right, right.
Yeah, not bad at all.
No, I couldn't believe it. Really, it's 34,000 is the grants. The rest of it, man, that's only 12,000. You remember when they owed us what, 600,000? That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Lisa, what about this thing I hear on the radio about the voter? Kenke's talking about some new law that's just going into effect that they have to spend 200,000 or something.
Which thing?
They have to register voters at the polling place, is what they said, so they have to buy a whole bunch of computers and networks.
They're over the population threshold. We won't have to do that. We'll still have to have the same voter registration, but ours doesn't have to be out of the polling place, so it's just in our office. Which is difficult, but it's not expensive. The only expense is that all these will have to have a couple of computers, a couple more computers that can handle entering voter registration, because everybody in the office is going to have to be able to do it, because election day will be crazy busy in the office. But those counties that are over the threshold, they have to have voter registration at the polling places with laptop computers.
Yeah.
Just a nightmare. Like, so many of our election judges are. They're elderly people, and they don't like working with computers, so they're going to have...
It's a problem. Most of us are elderly. What are we going to do?
They're going to have their, programs.
Yeah, thank God. I was worried because when I heard 200,000, I just had panic all over me. 'Cause even if it was half that, it'd be terrible.
This hasn't passed yet, but there's some legislation out there that is going to change the threshold for having to have foreign language ballots.
Really?
And they already do, in like Cook County, several different languages, but they changed that threshold, or they're trying to change that threshold too. And through the research that I did, there is one area in Northwest County that would require Spanish ballots, or ballots written in Spanish, so I really hope that does pass. I just think we have. I contacted our legislators and I told them that in Northwest County, and not that anybody has any problem with the Hispanics, but they can bring someone with them to the poll. They can't read, the ballot. It is not going to be popular in Northwest County to have to print a foreign language ballot. And not just ballots, but other election information material that have to be, like on the wall, stuff like that. So that was something to talk to. But it hasn't happened yet, but it's not dead, it's not gone. Just ridiculous.
Main ways to spend money and no way to make money.
Exactly.
That's just terrible.
Most of the election judges have to do if someone came in that needed to register that day, send them to you, and then they have to come back and vote with us if they vote with you.
They both vote with us.
Really, that's not that bad a deal, is it?
We did it 2 elections ago. We didn't have to have it consolidated, but it was a law in the last general election. So it was the first time that it ever happened. We only had 33, but it really kept it busy because you have to first get registered, then you have to enter all their information into the computer so that they're coded so that they get the right ballot, and they have to get a ballot, and then they have to vote the ballot. So each person that comes in, it's pretty, it's a good 30 minutes. Kankakee County had 200, I believe, in the last election, and it was just I don't know how they did it. It's a nightmare bed, and it becomes, it has become,
It's going to get worse.
Can you vote if you're not a citizen?
No.
You can get a driver's license. That's just unbelievable, isn't it? Whoever dreamed it?
Especially when there's ways, for non-English, or, people that don't speak English well. There's still ways for them to vote. We just need to list someone with them, or even an election judge is allowed to vote. But if they bring somebody with them, and all they have to do is fill out an affidavit of assisted voter, very, very simple, and no cost to anybody.
Yeah. Well, they won't like that. They like to spend money.
And they just think about all these things are going to make people vote, people will vote, they feel like that. None of these things they're trying are going to make any more, they make people vote any more than they did before.
In my opinion, it just entices favorable from.
Yeah. That's been my concern. Because they joke about voting.
It increases the possibility.
Christ, you listen to the radio, they get on there and brag about voting more than once. Wow. Jesus.
I'm not sure why anybody would, they can go to jail for that.
They won't.
Well, is that it? I got
I just want to look at that, you probably heard, Jason heard from our senators put out a news release that Iroquois County is going to gain, approximately $88,000 from this. We're also supposed to get paid back for our network charges, so we're expecting about approximately $100,000 is what we'll be gained starting on January 1st.
Boy, that's good.
But we also have to remember that, I mean, that's great, that it's an increase, but since 2009, we're down about $200,000 from where we started with because of the wireline, reduction in wireline. So that's something that we have to remember. This is a great gain, but we're still not up to par to where we've been. And this legislation also talks about 2020, by 2020, that we have to be next generation compatible, is what I'm going to say, and that's not an $800,000 project. At its time as well. But the state's going to try to do a next generation 911 network that hopefully everybody can hook into, and by doing that, that hopefully will reduce our costs. So even though we've got this $100,000, that doesn't mean that, you know, there's a lot of costs coming in the future to make us compliant with this legislation. Talk about consolidation, we've already consolidated. We consolidated back in 2000, so that does not affect us. And so our consolidation is mainly net for up north, for the northern part of the state, and they're also creating grants for that. There is also going to be grants for Next Generation 911, but there's about $6.9 million in that, and everybody in the state, other than 15 counties down south, is going to want, you know, part of that pie, so it's just going to depend on that work. It also brings 911 throughout the state of Illinois. There's 9 counties in the state of Illinois that do not have 911, and those 9 counties will now have 911 service. So wherever you go in the state of Illinois, you will have 911. So that's something that this is also bringing. It's 87 cents. It's going to be 87 cents for wireless and also 87 cents for wireline. That is the difference of what we have. We have $2, and then we have 73 cents. That's on cell phones. Obviously, the cell phone goes up, but this 87 cents is all going to be sent into the state of Illinois, which I know is an issue. And then they in turn have a formula that they in turn will redistribute, that word, back out, and then by doing that, we're going to gain $88,000. So that's presently what's happening. There's going to be a 911 administrator that's going to be appointed, and that 911 administrator is going to be an employee under the Illinois State Police, because they're the ones that are going to, they have, we have the LEADS program, and LEADS is how we run license plates and people and that type of stuff, so they already have like a statewide network. So we're hoping that Next Generation 911 will be able to work the same. So with their personnel, this 911 advisory system person is going to work under the Illinois State Police as an employee there, but they're going to answer to the advisory board, which is made up of 5 911 people, 911 coordinators throughout the state, along with telcos, Illinois Sheriff's Association is a member of it, the Fire Association is a member of it, and there's different organizations throughout the state that are 911 oriented that they'll be reporting to. So that's kind of the basics. It is a great thing that it happened. You know, I'm happy to say that our representative Tom Bennett and Jason Merrick and our senator worked really well with me, especially the last 3 days. We were texting back and forth, and I was also down to the Capitol trying to get this pushed and handing out these things to our reps and senators. So we're very thankful that this is going forth, and now we just got to see what is ahead of us.
It's nice. We've been pushed down for so long, trying to get one up.
So, any questions?
No?
Russell, really?
Yeah, the first thing that comes to my mind is that there was 9 counties that don't have 911.
Correct.
But they will have it now.
Yes.
But there'll be no hardline charge in that county.
They are working out.
They'll just be the state cell phone collection.
There'll be 87 cents for hardline and 87 cents for...
But no, nothing on hardline.
I think it'll be 87 cents for hardline too.
So the state will actually mandate
Yes.
it on those counties.
Yes, correct. And it's something they have not paid in the past. And some of the counties have been paying for a few years. I think there's one that's been paying for 14 years. But because of the population, they aren't able to get the amount of money that they need to get 911 up and running. So this is going to be a great help for them. Good. All right. Thank you.
Thanks. That's a good job. That's a good job. Okay. How's the engineer doing today?
So far, we're good.
You're up.
I really don't have anything.
Sheriff.
Few things, Randy mentioned, we did have water this year. Back on the May 3rd meeting, we had a call, training for what we thought they had a pedestrian in Clifton, and we were going to that call. Right there, 52 is just kind of like a really, 5 looking across, and we got 2 of the 5. airbag boy, it was a 4-year-old vehicle, 135,000 miles, it was one of the newer ones tonight. Insurance just came, they pulled it out, so just wait a year from them. We still have that larger system, and all the others are going to pick it up at some point this week or next week. With that, the police vehicle fund, I think that's got around $10,000 in it. Not sure what the total vehicle will be, that area, whatever it is. We're using our spare car right now, which is, I think that's 4-year-old Volvo, 150,000 miles on it. So, depending on what we give the total vehicle and using the police vehicle fund, I'll probably come back at some point either in July or August, see if there's...
Do you have any other funds that are running?
$1,000 here or there that can maybe we squat out this year's budget. That being said, when the budget talk begins next month, on the vehicle replacement, the squad, the request was like 2 squads again, but both of the investigative vehicles, one is going to be 14 years old, and the other one is 11 years old, and there's starting to get wear and tear, and the possibility may make things go wrong, so I'm also a little bit trying to get those. I don't like those new. We look at one vehicle, we usually buy a couple of years old with 35,000 miles on them, so they don't put any miles on them every year. Other than that, we've been busy. We got 2 people rolling right now, waiting for placement down at Farmers with the state hospital. We've got inmates with significant psychological issues right now. We'll probably keep claims coming through. We had 2 inmates that have medical conditions that cause seizures, and last month I made the problem of our party in the oil in our back parking lot because they were there quite a bit. One of the inmates actually court here and had seizures while all at court. We tend to have folks that not only have physical problems, but also psychological problems, until they go to the hospital, we have to have to deal with them. And they can be quite trying in jail when they decide to get into what they do. Our judicial, our postal service, were over 500 last month, so and then we're going to continue throughout summer, especially the postal service will go up. There's going to be more miles in cars, more people in jail. Other than that, and I did, Kevin told you briefly, we do have the permit from the city to do the roof in the jail, and maintenance, Larry may call the contractor today to make sure that they get it on their list on jobs so that they're not all by the time they get around to it.
That it? How's public health?
Stable. Every county public health is no different than any other local health department across the state right now. We're systems are high. We're waiting for the governor's budget to be built so that we can find what our grant funding for our programs will be. I want to make the finance committee aware, and I'm sure Andy does make you aware of this as well, that our grant, many of our grants, the fiscal year is July 1 through 30th, so a lot of our grants will be ending on June 30th. Of course, our county fiscal year doesn't end until November 30th, so depending on what the new grant amounts are going to be, and we have about, I know what about half of them are going to be at this point. point in time. Most grants are coming in at levels that I expected. Some I've been very pleased with. We were told Illinois Record Girls grant was at 71%, and we were told it would be at 50%. When it came in and the contract came, they were cut right about 26%. So I was very pleased with that. Our public health emergency grant funding came out pretty level. Our tobacco-free grant is about $3,000 less, so it went from $24,000 something to right around $21,000. We do not have any idea of some of the grants, such as coordinated physical health, whether that will be continued or not. The programs that we subcontract with, Ear Clear Memorial Hospital, WIC, Family Case Management, and the Family Illinois program, I've only been notified so far about the WIC funding, and that's being cut between $4,000 and $5,000. So our contract with Ear Clear Memorial Hospital needs to be renewed by July 1st. But the other two organizations haven't given us money, so I'm not able to give them a contract or offer them an amount subcontract until I know what our government is going to be. So right now we're just waiting on a lot of funding issues. Hopefully the governor's budget will be resolved without enormously, and we can budget accordingly. We did apply for 2 additional grants that we've not had in the past, and have been notified that we are eligible and will receive both of those grants. And one of them, I got a signed contract from the East Central area on aging yesterday. That one was almost $14,000. So that will help supplement some of our loss as far as not having to decrease staff. The director of nursing position that was open in the fall, I have decided to replace that internally. If possible, we're looking at applications and an application on the county website at the time. I'll be looking those over, but I think that what's going to be best for the health department as a whole is to rearrange the activities so that in case we have significant success with the grants that are coming, that I won't have to reduce staff. So I don't want to hire from outside at the time and have to lay off someone. So we're just waiting on grant proposal now, and we're going to make a mistake and go forward.
That's good. That's that. So, department heads, thank you.
It sounds like you'll be dealing with so-called tentative agreements.
I anticipate that unless within the next 2 weeks I'm notified by the Healthy Family Illinois grant and the Family Case Management grant that we'll have a tentative agreement. I have meetings set with Mr. Boland from IMH, and then our next scheduled board health meeting is July 1st, but we are making arrangements to have one at least the 3rd or 4th week here in July, so that we can discuss and go over a tentative agreement until we get the grant funding allocations in place.
That's good. Well, thank you. Anybody else got anything? Okay. Bids for 2015 audit. What do you guys?
Several months ago, the committee had asked me about going out for bids for next year's audit. Susan had asked me at that point, I had mentioned to the committee that professional organizations for government accounting requests, they suggest going for like a 5-year audit contract so that your auditor, you end up with a lower bid because your auditor takes all that extra first year labor and can spread it over the contract. If you only go out for a 1 year, they'll take all that cost and put it in. Now your baseline is right here, and even if you renew with them, they're never going to go down, they're going to just go up. So it lowers your baseline. So Susan had asked me to ask other counties if they do 5-year, how long they do. So I talked to 3 different counties. Kankakee goes out for bid about every 5 or 6 years. They do annual engagement letters, but they've been using the same auditors for at least 15 years. Steve has been there 15 years, and he said that they've been there as long as he's been there. So he's not sure how long they've been there, but it's over 15 years. I talked to Livingston County. They just switched from Clifton Larson Allen to a regional firm, Mack and Associates, out of Morris. They extended a 3-year contract with them. They're in their 2nd year. And then Champaign County is, they use Clifton Larson Allen. They're in the last year of a 5-year contract. They extended a 5-year contract. But their board this year voted to just extend it an extra year and go out for bids next year. So 3 to 5 years is kind of, those are 3 different answers I received. So that seems reasonable. You wouldn't have to, if you go out for bids, you wouldn't have to open the bids till September, October, maybe October at the latest. You know, that would give them a whole almost 60 days, 45 to 60 days to start their audit planning. So if you want to, you could do that.
How long have we been with these people? 4 years?
4. 3 or less.
It's not 3. I've been here 3 years, and so it's been at least 4 because when I got here, the prior year wasn't finished. There were some things to finish for that.
Well, we definitely, bidding is definitely due diligence. You're getting your best deal for your people.
You need a new face every 5 or 6 years. You may see something different.
The extension of Champaign County. The extension of Champaign County, that extension, was there a percent of change with the dollar amount of the cost of it with that extension?
He didn't say anything about what the cost was.
Yeah.
And I didn't look it up either. I'm sure I could have found it on their website, but
It's just, maybe you're looking at it too far, but
What do you gentlemen think? Put it up for bid again? Been at least 4 years, so.
have we felt that there's any vendors that are knocking on the door and want to get put in? I know many. Do you know many?
Have we been satisfied with what we've had the last 4 years?
well, I will say I receive email or someone from Kankakee out of a firm out of Kankakee saw me out,
Oh,
and
they know your profession.
well, I mean, the accounting profession is not that big in this area, so people know where you are. And she mentioned that they would like to,
I'm sure
if we ever go out for bids, they're very interested.
We had quite a few bids last time, didn't we?
So,
4 or 5?
Well, you used to have a firm from up there in the Kankakee area.
yes, that's Smith Kelly.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Had a resistance there, Homer Watt or something. I don't think that was a partner anymore, though.
I wasn't as happy with them as we are the one we have now.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, we need to decide what we want to do. Do you want to extend what we got? Do you want to put it up for bids? And what length of contract do you want to put out, 3 to 5?
Well, if we extend what we have now, we ought at least ask a bid from them first.
Well, we ought to
Ain't
know.
bidding against somebody that's going to be up, what, 10%?
Well, we ought to say we're going out for bids if we're not satisfied with your extension. It's like telling her to go out. It's like asking for reduction.
Yeah, again, it goes back to the original question I had, when she mentioned Champaign extended theirs.
Yeah.
My first thought went through my mind, well, did they extend it for, did they ask for 20% increase on premium, 10% increase on premium?
More likely did.
For the extension.
More than likely they didn't, or they would have gone out for bids if you'd asked for 20% more.
I would say if you extend it, it stays the same.
Sure, say or less.
Almost always, I will tell you, throughout the decades, I've worked with auditors. Almost without fail, it goes up.
Right, they want more. Just
Right,
like
almost always.
George, Susie.
The key is your baseline. But now this year, I kind of laid it out for them that I expected a decrease because of public health coming in here. I expected it would take them a lot less work. But they, they kept it flat, but they said it was because, well, half the year they still had to do the old, so they left it flat. So, I mean, I'll try again, but that's very rare for the cost to go down. I don't think I've ever seen
We'll
it.
enlighten that.
They did that with
Not that I've
farmers.
ever seen it, but I don't think
I didn't
have.
like that either.
If they don't remain flat, tell them we're going out for bids. Simple as that.
Well,
Yeah.
are we getting the best bang for our people? We're not putting them out for bids.
Should we have a
Anybody?
subcommittee do this, like you do, Charlie?
I don't know what, Joel and I have had conversations about.
Put Joel on the bid.
Yeah, it's challenging. Every year, because they've been here longer, it seems they look at more, because they got the big stuff out of the way, and they're not concerned about that. It seems it's getting pretty fine-toothed, what they're looking at, and
Well, that's good.
challenging,
Highway don't, like,
Well, they gotta find something to write you up for.
right?
So, I mean,
That's good.
Well, they don't necessarily,
Would a new firm be looking at the fine stuff that they are?
no. Not the first year. If you gave them a 5-year contract, by year 5, they'd probably get to where these people, where Clifton Larson Allen is
Like
now.
starting all over again.
But you're gonna, yeah, right.
How do they set their rate? I mean, Champaign County is a lot bigger county than Iroquois County. I mean,
They'll estimate the number of hours. It's all based on the hours they estimated taking, typically. And so they'll estimate the number of hours, and, by now, they have a really good estimate, because they know what it's going to take to come through here. Now, a new auditor is going to make sure that they cushion it a little bit, because they're not sure what they're going to come into, especially somebody who doesn't know you.
Right.
well, I think we've got a good company now, but I don't know. So if anybody got our preference, you want to, it's not you want to let her check it out, but
yeah, I'm not, real excited either way, to tell you the truth. The ideal of just having different eyes look at things is always good, but at the same time, the bang for our buck right now, do we want to, which I get the feeling if we have different eyes look at it, we're going to spend a lot more money, so.
Or we won't get as much depth in audit, one or the other.
Right.
is it better to have, I know it's a pain in somebody's butt, but
Well, yeah, I mean, there's two sides to that, they get more fine-tuned, or they get placed, and that's you gotta watch. I mean, that's what happened in the audit, that place, they had audit for years, what happened there.
I don't like having,
I mean, in a lot of times they do and it's different. I think neither one of our conversations were people who came in and actually did the audit. I know we've done a couple things with the highway department. The auditors, if you're looking at now around 8 when they went to the upstairs to their big guys and all that, they said, no, one is going to get this, one is going to get that. Talk about how I will let that serve good to people that are say, oh, never actually look at stuff by where things need to go back where any of the details of it.
Right.
None of it, don't get them wrong, it's just some of them came on across, it's a little surprising.
And frustrating when you get all the way to the end. And, we were supposed to have it back the next week, and then they came back, and the last reviewer, because now Clifton Larson Allen I've never seen an audit go through like 3 levels of review once it leaves, and that's what we went through. 3 different levels, looked at it. I'm sure, yes. I mean, I'm used to having like another reviewer. You're typical, you would send it back, and you'll have another reviewer look at it. But to have 3 different people look at it, and then it was a major classification of, they changed things, our internal service funds that have always been as internal service funds. This is a big change. The liability and workers' comp, and I think one other one, they pulled out of internal service funds and classified them as special revenue funds. Do I agree with them? Yes. When you look at the regulations as to what's an internal service fund, over 50% of the revenue has to come from fees or an outside revenue source, not a tax levy. If it's a tax levy, it's a special revenue fund. So we've been doing it wrong for really 30 years. At least. Yeah, right. But it's just at the very last second, here it went through all these reviews, and it's been this way for 30 years, and then all of a sudden we were going to get it and be done with it, you know, the next day. Oh, we got to change. That's a big change.
It may be, but it wasn't your fault nor the other person's fault.
It was someone's fault for 30 years.
Yeah.
Someone did it wrong for
some auditors for 30 years.
Well, and me.
All them auditors
and
missed that for 30
Before
years.
you, too.
Wow, that's amazing.
And I'll tell you, the other thing is, you want to look for someone that has a good, strong government foundation. The audits that I have looked through from several years ago are not what's called a full CAFR, and that's the standard for government audits. It's much more detailed. You can see how much thicker our audit is now than it was, say, 10 years ago. That's a full CAFR, and it goes to transparency and making sure that the citizens have the information they need. So that's a very good thing. Is it more expensive? Probably. But I don't know. That would be the other thing. You would want somebody who knows government, so you don't have to recreate everything for them, and they understand how it's supposed to work.
If you're just looking at each one's estimate of cost, how do you turn around and tell each one of them you're not a CAFR and you are?
Well, you have to interview them and find out what other government entities they audit, so you have a good feel that they are experienced, just like any other hiring of someone. You want to make sure they're experienced in the field.
Well, that's a pickle, isn't it? To think about both sides of this, it's good that they changed that, and it's bad because of the timing. But probably wouldn't be good at any time.
And going back in years looking at them, every year there's been so many more changes come down, it seems like. So there's nothing that's comparable to 10 years ago, definitely to 20 years ago, how
good they are.
And Joel and I have talked, I mean, the industry is very different. There's a lot more liability out there. And we talked about the fact that, and I remember this too, they used to, your auditors will say, well, this doesn't look quite right, this isn't quite right, but just change it for next year, that's fine. Whereas now, it's like you need to change it right now. That's a very different approach. Is it correct? Sure. Sure, if it's wrong, it should be corrected.
Yeah, look at Dixon. What did it cost that audit company? A lot.
What do you think?
It was a bunch.
it wasn't Clifton or Larson. It was.
Yes, it was.
Well, that's scary, ain't it?
Yeah, well,
Or not. That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Well, they know what the lumps are if they make a mistake, so. That's interesting. So you want to, what do you guys want to do? You want to let her see what they'll do for your
Yeah.
extension? You want to put it up for bids?
I think you should see what they'll do for your extension before you put it out for bids.
How many bidders do you think there'd be, 3 or 4?
Yeah.
Well, I think we get 4, but the problem is, I don't know if you'll get the government background, the extensive government background that we got.
I would like to see it maybe extended another year. But at the same time, we want to know what it costs about.
Yeah.
Because
They better not go up.
one thing that was mentioned that I like the sound of is, you know, when they first come in, actually they're looking at all the big stuff, tearing it apart.
Yeah.
But you know what? It needs to go all the way down to bigger, not so big, down to donuts. Yeah.
Don't mess with the donuts.
Down to the donut purchase.
Pizza.
So,
But it's whatever. I'm not an accountant, so.
Well, we gotta get going on something anyway. If we don't, we better be prepared at the next meeting to ask for competing bids if we don't get an answer that
Oh, yeah.
we're happy
well,
with.
we got to what, October?
We would have to open bids no later than October.
Well, we ought to open bids before we meet it.
Well, and interview, and you'd interview and make your decision that month.
On the
I
other-
think you'd want them all
On the
here.
other side of the coin, if you were the auditing firm, you'd like to see it early so you can fill your
Right,
slots. If they get your slots already full, they're gonna give you a hell of a big
right,
increase
right.
or whatever. So you gotta do it early in order to fill their needs too.
You want her to talk to them?
That would be the way I personally would approach it, but, you know, it's not my expertise area there. What do you think, Charlie?
Yeah, I think we gotta make up our mind
You're
in
more of a
another
bean
month.
counter.
What?
You're more of a bean counter.
Soybeans.
So,
They ain't worth a nickel anymore, so what am I worth?
Brad, you think?
I agree.
Would you agree?
Well, trust me, they'll do it either level or below.
Yeah.
Ernie, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Do we need a motion or just tell her to do it?
Consensus?
You didn't tell us what your opinion was.
Yeah.
He's got opinion
You
both
don't
ways.
want to,
He's
huh?
got opinion both ways.
You know what? I'm in a funny position because it doesn't matter who it is you get in here, I'm going to get irritated with them. Because that's just the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
I have somebody coming through, picking through,
You're right.
and telling you it's wrong.
Tell
They're
her,
never
we're
going to...
married, isn't it? I don't care. Hell, I say it from my wife.
Why did you get in your wife? Did you get in your wife's underwear drawer?
No, get away with it. There's no newspaper here.
Yeah.
Trust me, I spoil my wife a lot. So, what do you think, guys? Just go ahead and
Let her find out what they'll do.
let her find out? Okay. See what they'll respond on. Next month, we'll make.
Check them out.
Okay.
And I would think if we were to put up a big stone for 5 years, better deal.
Right.
Sure.
But I don't like the way Yankees have one for 15 years, that scares me.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't like that. But we go out here, extension ain't gonna be my problem.
What do you mean?
I ain't gonna be here after next year.
That's what you think.
A fool.
I've talked to his wife.
Oh, yeah. He's gonna be here.
I won't have a wife if I do this again. Yeah, I tell you, a lot more than what. So, okay. So we got that, so let's go to bids for, what do you think on health and liability insurance? We haven't done that in a couple of years.
But she says she's gonna give some ideal numbers today.
Right. Now, CIBC, our old broker, they've been knocking on the door for a year, trying to get back in here. And They recently asked me, maybe a month ago, they have a new person in there, and they asked me for our census, which I provided them. And they're going to work on trying to come up with something, which I told Susie, that they're knocking on the door. Susie is working on the renewal, which would be our current. And I said, we're not looking to switch brokers. Well, we think we can offer you a better plan, more cost effective. That would be a big change. That would be something different than what we have now, which is Health Alliance and BPC. I don't know. This liability insurance company that came calling, walked in off the street one day, and they want to come talk to this committee. And that's what I need to know. They keep calling, and I don't know what to tell them. Do you want to talk to them? They understand. I said that we had just recently sent it out for bids, and I hadn't heard that the committee was interested in doing that. They don't care. What they want to do is come introduce themselves, and they want to, I guess, start laying the groundwork so that you get to know them.
They want market
Right.
themselves.
So I guess I just need to know what to tell these people.
Well, we're a public institution, we need to talk to the
Well, we
public
didn't-
in return,
we
we're
didn't-
suppliers.
We didn't do it last year because of the public health thing, we were tied together, public health insurance, or not health insurance, but liability insurance. Then we had the same as public health. Yeah. And would it be any,
What you're talking is beyond me, but I didn't say, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
And when you use the term liability here, what all we take?
Well, that's all, but that's not just liability. It's liability and auto and workers' comp. It's everything except group health.
So the work comp is in there too, which if you're going to break anything out, a lot of times work comp, because there's a lot more competitive work comps.
And I know that when we have rebid it since I've been here, and I know Jim Meyer was here because he kind of managed through that process. So it's been 2 years at least.
Yeah, more than that.
Not that matters. Remember what company this brokerage firm on the liability insurance?
Horton Group. Horton Group is their name.
wasn't there one from the county association or something? Weren't they trying to do something like POI for townships?
Yeah.
I thought they were like a contingent bidder or something. That worked good for townships. I don't know how it would work for...
Does it start with a D, the name of the company? And I think
It was a significant...
And I think
Reduction
25
in
years
township.
ago, we did have one that was tied to just the liability. Now, I don't know if the workman's comp was in there and a few of these other areas, because we're talking a big umbrella of stuff under liability. But they did what I call general liability, which would take in a lot of the trip and falls and accidents and failures, but I'm trying to remember who the broker was. Actually, I think it was Lowell.
Yeah.
Oh well. I know a lot of, in my industry I'm around, the workman's comp now is not wrote by the people because they just want, they come in, they're wanting a business, but apparently there's no money in the workman's comp or something because they want to totally sublet that, so they'll end up with Hathaway or one of your big players out there. And they'll actually write the policy, but then when it comes to writing the check every month, you gotta send it right to the workers' comp people, and different world.
You got any recommendations?
Write one check.
No.
That's
I mean,
what-
it doesn't,
Yeah, that's the way I always look at it. I like to keep one vendor as much as I can, because the more vendors you have, the more confusing it is.
What, is there a deadline on that one to put it up for bid?
well, the renewal is December 1st, so you would have to,
Well, it's June, so.
they're going to need time to,
Well, I like this one, they give us the cost early. That's worth a lot. Because we were always passing a budget with a maybe on the, well, that wasn't good.
Is the Illinois County Risk Management Trust, ICRT. They provide it for 200 public entities in Illinois with an average annual number of rural 99%, according to Google.
That don't sound like the name I was looking for, but it could have been. Thanks.
Who are we through with Ranger? Bliss McKnight or? They're one of the biggest ones, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah. And I think they do make primarily government.
Yeah. I like them because they don't just cut a check and settle, they fight.
Do they?
Yeah, that was the big factor. They'll fight a large percentage of their cases just because they don't want to get known for. I think that's important. You don't want somebody that does it easy just to. Anybody got a preference, or you want to think about it for a month?
What do you think, Charlie?
Well, we could do like we did with the one just above, just ask the present one where we are, what they would provide for next year, before we make a decision to go out for bids. Isn't that fair?
To get a tentative idea?
Yeah. If it's good enough, why should we bother going out for bids? How long a period do we have to lock ourselves in for?
This a yearly deal?
Annual.
So, what's wrong with that?
Or if somebody wants to come and talk,
Yeah, we can't stop anybody
let them
from
come.
coming to talk.
Okay. One thing about a lot of this liability stuff, you gotta remember, there's a lot of things that get done, head count inside the building, how much money that we're passing through sometimes will make a difference on the premium. And what they're doing, when they give you a quote, the quote is not necessarily what's going to cost you, it's what's going to cost you based off the information they got to give you the quote. So then they come back and do an audit later, and they can hand you a bigger bill, or sometimes I'll hand you a refund.
for workers' comp, yeah.
Yep. Well, garage liability in our industry is a common one, the same way. Just head count. Because liability, they claim, actually goes up with more people.
Okay. So, just gonna let her discuss this with Randy, or?
Yeah,
One of us
maybe.
discuss this, you want us to?
If we're happy with what they did during the year, we ought to at least give a present vendor that much talk time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I would rather do that, definitely.
If you start switching every year and demanding everything different, won't become a time when they don't care if they get your business or not.
They're inviting some traveling salesman in. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can make the grass look greener on the other side of the fence.
You ain't a kid.
Until, oh, that was just talk.
You leave here, go tell a vacuum sweeper down the street.
Everybody in favor of us discussing it with what we have? Okay. Okay, moving on then to discussion on Trans-American Retirement Solutions, 457B Deferred Compensation Plan.
Long enough title.
Anybody got this book, or you want to take a minute and look through it?
Well, I might well be able to suck that up in a minute.
Yeah, I got a photographic mind.
Cow. Yeah.
I got a photograph.
So this,
phone, but I can't make it work, so.
It's my son.
And this, what's this pertain to? Is this a retirement plan for?
It's a supplemental retirement plan. We currently offer a 457B plan through Nationwide Insurance, who we've had for some time, or Nationwide Retirement Products, or whatever, which really has, I think, Amanda, would you guess how many employees make use of that? It would be in a... 10. Do you think it's 10? Maybe 10. Yeah.
I was going to say, it's usually less than 10%.
Yeah, it's not large. Not a lot. No.
What's this actually cost us? Nothing, or?
No. No.
Well, this is pretty, you almost have to ask the employee if they really want to change it. If they want to see a comparison. It's their baby.
So this is not a replacement for IMRF or something like that, that some people thought it was.
Well, if you ask them, how do you do, send out a questionnaire to everyone that's on it, say, do you want to change?
It's kind of like you can get health insurance through Aflac that will pay for little Mickey Mouse things where the other insurance company might not.
If our people are like me, most of them don't understand what the hell they're doing there. My wife's got one of them. I look through the paperwork and I'm thinking, I'm glad I'm a farmer. At least I know what the hell I got here.
You know your corn's underwater, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And if it's something that's an employee out-of-pocket thing, the next time we're doing a quiz with employees about something, we need to add that question.
Yeah.
And just, and not make another form, just add that question to the existing form that we're passing out.
Of course, they won't know much more than you and I. I guess they change it, another one. Is there another one?
They can read it. That's all marketing.
Yeah.
Give your money to us because we'll take care of it wisely for you.
Right. So we're gonna, no Ponzi scheme here that you know about.
We're going to just let this go until we talk to them about other things and see if they want to do it. All right. We're down to the good one. Discussion on the bond line. Anybody heard anything?
How many years have we discussed that now?
I don't know.
Is there any money at all coming in?
I don't think
No, I don't think so.
You heard anything?
Last I knew, so-called the state's attorney had an agreement, and him and Kyle was going to go work out the details, and like,
Yeah.
the only thing I told him, it doesn't matter how much talking, get some money. Ask Robert, do whatever you want, get money and then talk, but...
Maybe
We don't-
there's none coming in.
No, there's not. He's not going to pay no money. He's not going to pay no money at all because he's got so-called negotiations going
Now
on.
that's a corn burning furnace, right? Is that what it is?
Well,
Yeah,
that's the name of the company, yeah.
Was that what they produce, is furnaces that run on low-priced corn? He doesn't sell them now, he never will. Of course, I know other fuels are low-priced too, but
So,
Well, those came on pretty hot and they cooled off pretty
I think they're still cool. I
Yeah,
have a feeling we might as well demand for some income by saying, let's see your list of contracts for putting them in.
But we turned it all over to
yeah,
Kyle,
it's
so-
the Kyle and the state's attorney is supposed to be working on it, and so that's where the report's got to come from. Is
There's
our
no income coming.
chairman.
Well, there's nobody
What-
here.
It's time to get out of
We
this thing.
designated them to do it, so I guess we're,
Other than that, it's just...
We need a report from them before we can say anything, I guess.
yeah, all we're gonna do is muddy the water if we take action on something
Yeah.
that
Maybe it
somebody
needs
else
to
is
be
working
muddied.
on. So I guess that's done. Claims? Any questions on the claims? Oh, I didn't see that.
Oh, it was turned in a judicial. Okay. I didn't know why that was in there. It was on.
I move we pay the claims.
Got a motion, anybody second? Second. Call roll.
Schmidt?
Yeah.
Alt?
Yes.
Bill?
Yeah.
Curtis?
Yes.
Hanson?
Yeah. Any old business? Anybody got any old business? Any new business? No new business. Anybody want to go home? Ernie? Is there a second?
Sorry.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Right, 10 o'clock. Pretty good.